Beyond awake. Where do we go after we're pissed off? We've been digging deep for all the answers, and all we see is all the bad people and all the bad stuff out there. We feel hopeless, we feel stuck, angry, pissed off, in fear. We go from being awakened to ascending. Today I'm going to talk about the differences between awakening and ascension. And how do we transform and start going beyond awake? Today on Earth 1111. Hey, it's Roxanne. This is Earth 1111. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and don't forget to share the video. It really helps my videos get out to more people that are really needing the help. Let's get into it. So what is awakening versus ascension, right? When we first wake up, we're angry. All we see is the negative stuff. We just can't help it. It's everywhere. We are overwhelmed, pissed off, in fear, maybe feeling hopeless, stuck. How do we get beyond that? And what is beyond that? Beyond knowing what's going on in the world and knowing the secrets of the world. Well, there's a thing called spiritual ascension. And then it goes beyond ascension into oversoul embodiment, which actually I'll have a video about coming up as well. So let's talk about awakening. How do we get beyond awakening first, right? It's that point in time when you are, again, maybe you're awake for a few months or a few years, but eventually you hit that moment where you're just so sick of being angry, pissed off. You're just done. You're done with people, done with society. You can't just keep going like this. So when we hit that moment, that's called that change, that transformation where we start now ascending. Where a spiritual awakening is knowing everything out there, all the stuff in the world. And we dig deep, we go down the rabbit hole, right? That saying. We connect the dots. But when we go beyond just connecting the dots in the 3D matrix, the third dimension, then we start connecting the dots in every dimension. Now we have a knowingness. Now we start going beyond being simply in the system. So then we start connecting the dots in all dimensions, where then we have a knowingness about the entire universe, about reality, how literally reality works. So when we are in that awakening stage, it's very easy to get sucked into those rabbit holes where you just can't stop digging deeper, trying to find out all the information about all the bad people. You want the whole story. And eventually we go deeper and deeper and deeper, and we realize it's infinite. There's infinite bad people in the world that are acting with service to self. They're benefiting from the pain of others, that take from others, right? This is the whole entire world. This is the system. But that's just the 3D system. That's just the third dimension. There's so many more dimensions, and literally, it's not just this thing we learn about like we do when we're awake, where we need to learn about all this stuff. Ascension is about experiencing literally other dimensions, other realities. Your own virtual reality game that you're going through in life completely changes, and you become the creator of the game. You actually were always the creator of the game. The actor, the director, the producer, the writer of your own game. But when we are awake, we don't know that. And so we act in that victim mentality to all these bad people, all the perpetrators out there. And then a lot of people also, they're even, haven't even, well, when you're awake or simply not awake at all, you still exist in that victim, perpetrator, savior game. It's literally a program in the third dimension. It's the 3D matrix, energetic grid. So what happens, right? There's people we go to for the answers. They're the ones that know, the experts. the authority, and we run to them as the saviors. Tell us what to do. We have no idea. This is what's going on, right, in the world. And if you're awake, of course, you're not going to be doing that as much. You might be instead running to other people for the answers, or running to other people to save you, to help you. So, see what I mean? It's the same mentality of victim, perpetrator, savior, where you have the bad people, the ones that save you, and then you're just the victim to this game going on. But of course, when you're not even awake, right, we run to the medical authority, things like that, for the answers, for the cure to all your problems. But when we're awake, instead we run to other people for their opinions. We're still running to the experts, aren't we? But we're running to experts in other, other genres. The people who know the truth, right? Who've been studying it, who know. We dig deeper and deeper, but we're still worrying about all the stuff in the outside world. We're still hyper-focused on all the outside world, the exterior. We haven't quite turned the page to realize, what can we do? Right? So when we start ascending, it's best to really go from putting all of your attention on needing to know all the bad stuff, digging deep, getting all the dirt. But what happens is we start feeling terrible every time we do that. We start seeing these patterns. And then we start knowing that, I ate this food, now I feel terrible. I ate the same food, I feel terrible. We start seeing the cause and effect in things. I watched this person's YouTube video, now I feel like I'm freaking out, or I feel angry, right? It's fine to have these emotions, get them out, use them constructively. But instead of feeling that victim mentality, like you're stuck, like all these big bad people in the world and corporations are controlling the entire world and you don't have a say. Instead, put your attention onto all the things that are the solutions or the alternatives. This is where we really start taking back our own power, and that's when we start ascending. Right? That's one of the aspects of ascension, is taking back that power, start looking for solutions to all the bad stuff going on. Instead of just having to know all the dirt, we really now spend our time maybe watching videos, researching about all the things that other people are doing that are hidden, that aren't really in our faces in the news or on social media, right? Because we know that's censored. So there's so many people behind the scenes right now in governments, maybe in the medical system, in the news, things like that. There's so many people behind the scenes that are just waiting. These are the light workers that are in the system, that are going to be transforming the system from within. So you never have to feel, again, even though when we first wake up, right, we feel like we're the only one. No one gets it. The world's run by, psychos, and we can't stop it. But we always have to have that faith that us light workers, right, you, me, everyone that's aware, awake, we are planted everywhere. We are planted in the medical system right now. Even though it doesn't seem like it, seems like everyone's making the wrong decisions. They're planted in the government. And if you dig deep, again, you're going to have to get off those censored sites to be able to find all the answers. But when you dig deep, you'll realize there's so many things behind the scenes that are coming up as alternatives, as solutions to all the bad stuff. So start putting your attention on those things, right? Bring yourself hope. Take back your power to feel, yes, there is people doing these things. There is solutions. There is alternatives to these agendas that we're told are the only answers. We pick A or B. So we're told, right? We have, we can pick A or B, or we can pick just A. This is the only solution. Well, no, that's just what they're telling you, because they profit, they have control, they tell you what to do, and people just listen. But you're awake. So now we can start taking back our power. Put your focus again. Number one thing you can do is start putting your attention on things that bring you hope, that give you answers, solutions to these problems, to all these things you think are going on in the world that are just terrible, right? Everywhere you look, when we're awake, everywhere you look, something horrible is happening. Someone is being ridiculous. It's all service to self, and that's really the issue. The problem is a lot of people, when they're awake and they're angry about all this stuff, they're also contributing to these old systems. So what's happening, right? They're shopping at Costco. They are, working for someone that is, they're paid, literally, their job, their income is from these systems, from these industries. They're angry about it, but they're still in the system. They're still supplying their attention, their money, their time. This is the reason why these people have gotten control over the years, over the centuries, right? They've created a whole system where then people just believe that that's the only alternative. But there's so many more alternatives, right? That's step one. Now, the bigger picture to do with ascension, it's not just knowing about more stuff. It's about becoming the truth, becoming the light, becoming multidimensional on all levels, having back every part of you where you have the power, the passion, the time, you have that drive, you have that happiness, that bliss, that excitement, the power, because you've anchored in all of your aspects. Again, that'll be for more the advanced spiritual ascension into oversoul embodiment, which is advanced ascension video that I'll talk about here soon. But for this video, just realize that ascension is when we start turning our attention on all this stuff back to ourselves and realizing where can we change, right? Start looking about our habits. Where are we contributing to these systems? With our attention, whether we are in fear, right? When you're in fear, you're going to give up more control because you feel weak, right? It's just how it is. And again, by the way, all of this video is not to judge anyone. It's just to realize that everyone goes through this. I was there myself. I was angry, pissed off about chemtrails and all the multiple things for many, many years before you turn the attention back on yourself and you start going within and you start healing those parts of yourself that want to know everything, that just have to. Because it's not just that you're that type of person that needs to know everything. It's that you have an aspect of yourself, a persona, a soul part that is overactive because you constantly give it attention. You constantly feed it with energy, with your attention, with electricity. So now this part of yourself is out of control, right? Needs to know everything. But the part of you that also is content in just being, that feminine self, now that part of herself is ignored. So we start putting more attention onto that, onto you, not just onto you in a greedy way, because that's the reason why we're in the position we are right now in the world. Everyone is service to self. They profit from doing what's easy, not doing what's right. I'll say it again. They profit from doing what's easy, not what's right. Think about yourself, right? In your own life. This is what ascension is we go beyond being awake and we start looking within. What are we doing where we are staying in old habits? We are being small. We are feeling stuck. You're never stuck. It's your mentality that tells you you're stuck. It's that part of you, right? Again, you are infinite parts. Which part do you want to feed? What part do you want to put your attention on to allow that to now drive your life? Don't let the fear, those parts of you that are in fear, those traumas, drive your life. Lead you astray, because guess what? Then you're just going to be continuing to suffer. This is what this is what awakening is. It's getting so overwhelmed with all the bad stuff, feeling, terrible in your life, scared to leave the house. Maybe you're pissed off all the time. You can't stand people, right? The list goes on. But we need to go beyond that. Those are parts of ourself we're feeding. Those are our traumas that are already scared, which allows us to go down that rabbit hole. Put your attention now on where you can heal yourself, where you can now start feeding the parts of you that are content with feeling happy, where you feel, I deserve to be happy. I don't need to be in constant fight or flight because I have to constantly put my attention on all these bad things. Start loving yourself, right? Start doing the inner work. We heal these traumas, and guess what? Those things don't even apply to you anymore. The outside world will start shifting. You will start walking around and all this stuff going on, all the ridiculous things aren't in your timeline anymore. It's literally not in your reality. It might be on the TV because you're constantly needing to watch it, or it might be on, it's in other people's realities because they haven't done the work. But when you do your work, ascension, this is where now you start healing all those parts of you that like to be angry, that are constantly in fear, that are hopeless, that are stuck. All these small parts of yourself, again, we heal them, they become a strength. They now work with us instead of against us. When we ascend, we start taking back our power. We're no longer the victim to the outside bad people or those telling us that they have the answers, because we have the answers within now. We go from separation consciousness, which is duality, literally existing in good and bad, right, wrong, day, night, that's duality. It's the third dimension. We start existing in unity. Our feminine, masculine energies, all parts of self in balance. Now we have back our power. We have the solutions. We have that power within, that passion. Right? And again, right? We'll go through some purging as well. Ascension is about healing parts of ourself that are wounds, that are stuck in those loops, those thought loops. All these parts of ourself that we've hated, that we've ignored, right? Been embarrassed by, our weaknesses. We heal those. We love them. We literally give them light and love again. They come back to the whole. Now you are literally connecting the dots in your entire field, which is the universe. Now you have access to not just knowing what's going on in the 3D world, you have access to your soul, to God's source creator, to the aliens, to the power animals, to nature, to the earth, to the sun, to the planets, the stars. You have access to everything. The angels, right? This is now where, and then oversoul embodiment, we become them. So I have a saying that I kind of made up. Awakening is when we go down the rabbit hole. Ascension is when the rabbit hole becomes a wormhole. And oversoul embodiment is when we become the wormhole. So I'll explain all that when I go on to the next video. Again, it won't necessarily be tomorrow, but it will be coming up here shortly. So always know when we do the inner work, literally our virtual reality game changes. And then we're existing in a whole new world. And the only reason why other things are going on is because we tune into it. Tune into yourself, start doing the work, love yourself, heal back all these parts of yourself, and literally watch the people around you change. Everyone will start waking up because you're now existing in a higher timeline, interacting with their higher timeline self, interacting with their fifth dimensional self that is all-knowing, that is connected to their heart, to that part where they feel safe, not fearful. They feel positive, not negative about what's going on in the future. Everything happening right now is happening for a reason, to realign us to an amazing future. So don't worry, everything's happening for a reason. If you're awake, right, get all that anger out, but really move on to the next level. Start going within, looking within yourself. Every single moment, you can look within yourself and see where can I change? What habits do I need to change? What situations? Maybe a job, maybe a relationship. You need to change ourselves, right? Love yourself so much. Those parts of yourself that are so scared, talk to them. Love them. Be that inner mom or dad. Take them back. Heal them. And watch your life and the world around you literally shapeshift. That's what ascension is. So get out of that negativity. You got this. Start ascending. And then even more crazy and magical and weird, we become embodied, oversoul embodiment. And then you can throw all the normalcy out the window by that time. So I'll go into detail about that in another video. If you like the video, please like it, share it with as many people as you can. Don't forget to comment, and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. It really helps YouTube think that my videos have value, and it gets them out to more people. So we'll see you soon. I'm Roxanne. This is Earth 1111. Thanks. Bye-bye.